watching Everything NYJ with Liam and Italy Jet, and it's starting now.
Okay, well, I'ma be here for a while, longer than I did expect to. I was out of town, getting lost till I was rescued. Now I'm in the grass, come down when I run out of jet fuel. But I never run out of jet fuel. But I'ma be here for a while, longer than I did expect to. I was out of town, getting lost till I was rescued.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Come down when I run out of jet fuel. But I never run out of jet fuel.
What's going on, everybody? Liam here, Everything NYJ. Quick little video today. It feels like we were never going to get to this point, but I am super excited. The New York Jets are going to be playing real football in just under 24 hours. Of course, I am talking about the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns in the 2023 NFL Hall of Fame game, coming live from Canton, Ohio. I can't wait. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about some players that I think that we should all be looking out for, what to expect from a lot of these players, and then at the end, I will be giving my exclusive score prediction. But before we get into today's video, I just wanted to mention that you could follow Everything NYJ on all social media platforms at Everything NYJ. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel for daily Jets content. The season is here. The regular actual season where games matter is just right around the corner. 40 days from today, September 11th, the New York Jets will be playing the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers' home debut. Cannot wait for that. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's get into tomorrow's game. Starting off on the offense, obviously, uh, we got to start off with Zach Wilson. The last time that we saw Zach Wilson on the field, it was Thursday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was at that game, sitting in the pouring rain, excuse me, watching Zach Wilson suck it up. Fans were booing him off the field, and people were just waiting. And it didn't take long for Zach Wilson to make a mistake so we could boo this kid off the field. Chris Streveler would come in, just kind of do a couple wildcat plays, take it back to the old Tim Tebow days. It was a disaster. One of many heartbreaking games I have sat through at MetLife Stadium, hoping that those days are over. So Zach Wilson will be starting tomorrow. Robert Saleh already said in his press conference a couple days ago that none of the starters will be playing in this game. So you're probably just going to have to wait until week 1 to watch Aaron Rodgers ball it up in the green and white. But Zach Wilson, the biggest thing that you want to see from Zach Wilson is consistency. There has been multiple times last year and in his rookie year where we saw that Zach Wilson has the arm talent. Nobody that is a fan of the New York Jets is doubting Zach Wilson's arm talent. He has a very strong arm. He's very talented with the football. It's up here. If Zach Wilson could get the yips out of his head, if he could learn how to read defenses and actually control his arm. How many times have we seen Zach Wilson throw a bullet pass for 5 yards right over Braxton Berrios' head for a screen pass that just goes absolutely nowhere? Zach Wilson could throw the 50-yard ball down the field. Zach Wilson cannot complete the screen pass that has been his kryptonite since Zach Wilson has entered the league all the way back in 2021. It got to the point where last year against the Miami Dolphins, the last game of the season, that meant absolutely nothing for the New York Jets besides potentially sabotage the Miami Dolphins' playoff chances. They didn't even play Zach Wilson. They played old man, boring Joe Flacco. It makes me want to throw up. I can't even stand that guy. They had no confidence in Zach Wilson. Robert Saleh was saying that Zach Wilson needs to go onto the beach and read a book to get his confidence back, to get his mind cleared. Now we really want to see what working with Aaron Rodgers every single day has paid off for Zach Wilson. Has Zach Wilson learned a lot? Has Zach Wilson figured out how to read defenses? Has Zach Wilson gotten rid of the yips where he snaps the ball, runs in circles, and then throws it into the dirt? I'm not saying that Zach Wilson needs to be 18 of 20 with one touchdown pass. That would be nice. I'm probably expecting. I want Zach Wilson personally to play at least the first half. and then third quarter you go to Strevler or Boyle, and then fourth quarter vice versa. I honestly, the first half with Zach Wilson, I'm expecting 17 of 23 and one touchdown pass. I think that's pretty reasonable. 120 yards, that's fine. That's acceptable. But looking back at like the New England Patriot game, 2 inches, literally, I'm not exaggerating or being a jerk here, 2 inches of offense is not acceptable. Zach Wilson has to be better, and I personally think that Zach Wilson will at least be a little bit better because we have seen a lot of reports coming out of training camp that Zach Wilson is looking like a lot more confident. He's looking more comfortable. He seems to be understanding the offense a little bit better. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Third and fourth quarter, you could take your pick, whether it be Chris Strevler or Tim Boyle. Not really expecting a whole lot from them. Tim Boyle, even in training camp, has not been looking great whatsoever. Haven't even really heard much. I don't think I've actually even heard Tim Boyle's name mentioned in training camp, along with Chris Strevler. Not really expecting those two. But if you think back to last year's preseason, Chris Strevler was one of the all stars of the preseason. He was winning. He actually single handedly won that Giants game, I remember, and a lot of fans liked him. But however, he struggles to complete like a 10 to 15-yard pass. Definitely not a quarterback that you want to have to rely on come the regular season. So we are definitely looking heavy at Zach Wilson because he is, as of right now, going to be our second string backup quarterback. Do you want Zach Wilson to be the backup? Absolutely not. Will he most likely? Yeah, probably. It seems to be going in that direction. It doesn't seem like the New York Jets are interested in bringing in a veteran backup quarterback, somebody like a Nick Foles or a Carson Wentz or even a Teddy Bridgewater. Somebody like that, I would definitely prefer. I would feel a lot more comfortable. Season on the line. That could be the difference if Aaron Rodgers, God forbid, knock on wood, that could be the difference if he gets hurt and the Jets miss out on winning the AFC East and getting a home playoff game, whether it just be 1 or 2 weeks, you want a guy that can go in there and the offense doesn't have a significant drop off. Now we're hoping that everything that Zach Wilson learned that would not be the situation, but realistically, we're hoping that Aaron Rodgers just doesn't get hurt. Which brings me to the next topic, the offensive line. The offensive line seems like it has been a pretty much a disaster leading up to this point. It really has. Dwayne Brown has not played. Dwayne Brown has not been cleared off the pup list. Still dealing with that torn rotator cuff. It's not concerning yet, but it's kind of getting to that point because Mekhi Becton has actually had to miss time once again this season. Now he will be playing tomorrow. He has been practicing. He will be out there for the first time since Zach Wilson's debut all the way back in 2021 against the Carolina Panthers when Greg Van Roten, remember that scrub, had actually just fallen onto Mekhi Becton's leg, messing up his knee. And then Mekhi Becton announces the other day in a press conference that they did the wrong surgery. He did not need surgery on whatever happened to his knee. That's not what they needed to do. So pretty much he wasted time. Not his fault. And then last year, we already know how it goes. He came in, he was overweight, he was throwing up on the sideline, he was on one knee, he was 100% out of shape. And I understand. I have had a bad knee. I have had to miss significant time due to a knee injury in my career. I was wrestling my senior year, blew up my knee in high school. That doesn't mean that you can't eat a nutritious meal. You got to do everything you can to keep your weight down, to at least maintain your weight. Rumor has it that he came in at almost over 400 pounds, and then he won a crash diet. Never works. It's just a very unhealthy way to treat your body. And your body is your temple. Your body is your everything. You need to take care of it 100%. Now, with this offensive line, Mekhi Becton has been taking snaps at left tackle, and it really has not been pretty. He's getting blown up by Carl Lawson once again every day in practice, and it's getting to the point where it's a little concerning. And the offensive line up and down is a big question mark. Laken Tomlinson, he needs to be better. Mekhi Becton slash Dwayne Brown, that's a big question mark. Dwayne Brown, it's his job to lose at the left tackle position. I don't think he's going to be losing that job. Mekhi Becton has even said that he's willing to do whatever it takes for the team. So he just wants to play. But Dwayne Brown at 38 years old, can his body hold up at that position? Can he play at a decent, average starting caliber league at a position? I don't know. I don't know. And it's concerning with his injury. Now we're seeing that Schweister is probably going to be getting the starting reps tomorrow in the Jets Browns game. There's a lot of concerns that Titman, the Jets' second round draft pick, is working with the third string, not even the second string guys, the third string guys. And a lot of people on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, all over really the internet are saying, oh my God, Titman's a bust and we're going to be paying for this for the next 5 years. The Jets are wasting another career. The Jets can't get their second round draft picks right, i.e., Denzel Mims, Elijah Moore. I'm not at that level. I'm not concerned about that yet. He's a rookie. He's learning. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, and I've been saying this, maybe Aaron Rodgers come regular season doesn't want a rookie center. Connor McGovern is a proven guy. He's been there, done that. Come early in the season, he might be starting. But tomorrow, I think that Schweister will be getting all the reps. I hope to see a little bit of Joe Titman. I think it's going to be good for him just to get out there in some real action and just snap the ball a couple of times. Moving on to right tackle, like I said, Mekhi Becton, big question mark. Hasn't played in 2 years. Hasn't necessarily looked great in training camp so far. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out. And then, of course, you have Elijah Vera Tucker, who can play at an all-pro level, was definitely looking in that direction before he got hurt in that Denver Broncos game last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how he returns, what he's looking like, if he's even going to be playing. Like I said, these starters are not going to be playing. So, I mean, you got to think that it's probably going to be Adam Pankey that's going to be playing. Maybe even Chris Glazer. Elijah Vera Tucker probably won't even be taking reps, along with Laken Tomlinson. That's probably going to be Schweister too, because Schweister, West Streifler, I can't even say his name, excuse me, can also play left guard. Billy Turner's probably going to be getting in at left tackle a little bit, and maybe even Greg Sinat. A lot of these guys we don't even know. Billy Turner apparently has been atrocious on the offensive line so far. But it is what it is. It's going to be a preseason game. It's to kind of see where these lesser talents are at in their progression. So moving off of the offensive line, let's go into the backfield real quick. I'm talking about the running back position. And Brees Hall still not cleared off the PUP. He can be actually in a couple of weeks. Robert Sala is looking forward to that. Michael Carter, who is a disappointment last year, we think he was playing injured, was just not the Michael Carter that we saw his rookie year back in 2021. He has apparently been having a really good training camp. If it's my opinion, I think Michael Carter needs to be getting some reps tomorrow, along with Bam Knight and along with Izzy. I want to see a little bit of all of them. Maybe a quarter and a half of each, give or take. I think it's really I want to see Izzy because he's the rookie. He has not been there and done that in the NFL yet, where Michael Carter and Zonovan Knight have. Moving on to the wide receivers, no Garrett Wilson. He's actually still dealing with that ankle sprain. But I want to see a little bit of Alan Lazard. I know that they're saying that the starters are not playing, but Alan Lazard has kind of become a little concerning just because of his drops. So maybe you throw him in for like the first two series or so. Same thing with Mecole Hardman, who has kind of been a little bit more consistent in training camp, a little bit more than an Alan Lazard. But I would still throw those two in. Obviously, Garrett Wilson not playing. Obviously, Corey Davis not playing. Randall Cobb most likely not playing. He's a veteran. He doesn't need the preseason reps. But somebody who has been the standout all-star of training camp, every year we have one of those guys. This year it is none other than Jason Brownlee. I am so excited for Jason Brownlee. I cannot wait to see this guy out there just ball out. He has a real legit chance at making the team. I expect to see a lot of Jerome Cap. I expect to see some Gibson out there. It's going to be a lot of these wide receivers that have something to prove. And there's probably only one extra spot, and that is the Denzel Mims spot for somebody to make this team. And you got to figure the leading candidate right now for that, the favorite going into training camp, is Jason Brownlee. So I'm expecting to see a highlight reel day from him. And I'm kind of excited to see Zach Wilson and Jason Brownlee. I think that could be a very fun matchup. Zach Wilson is actually the one that threw that highlight, that pass to him. We all know that one-handed catch. It's been going all around social media. If you guys haven't seen it, just look up Jason Brownlee. I guarantee you it's going to come up. So getting into the tight ends a little bit, not expecting anything from CJ Uzuma or Tyler Conklin. I really think it's going to be the Zach Kuntz show along with Jeremy Ruckert. Maybe you throw a little bit of Kenny Yeboah in there. You kind of see what that's looking like. Jeremy Ruckert so far has looked like he's had a tremendous training camp as well. Looking forward to that. We're going to move over to the defense. The defense has obviously been a lot better than the offense. That is typically how it goes in training camp because there's less thought. It's just try to get to the quarterback, that defensive line. So the defensive line, you got to figure Quentin Williams will not be playing. It's probably going to be Quentin Jefferson or Isaiah Mack. Carl Lawson will probably not be playing, so I want to see a little bit of Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson looks like an absolute stud. He has been a breakout star so far in training camp. He had a lot of good highlights last year. You think back to that Jets Bills game where he pretty much sacked Josh Allen. Excuse me, can't even talk. There's just so many players in my head right now to pretty much seal that game up. So he has had a couple of highlights. So I'm expecting to see some of him. I want to see a little bit of Will McDonald, Jets first round pick, who has really, I haven't heard a whole lot about him. Even in training camp, he hasn't really seemed to be like making an impact of any sorts. So I'm excited to see if he can get after it on that defensive line. Getting into some other defensive players, Al Woods is probably going to be starting in the regular season, so he probably will not be playing. And we're probably going to see some Solomon Thomas, some Smart, excuse me. But really not expecting a whole lot from the defensive line. I think that they're going to be just fine. Maybe Michael Clements gets in there, commits a murder or two because that's what he likes to do. Getting into the secondary, this is where it gets interesting because how, I don't even think that CJ Mosley's going to be playing. It's probably going to be like Caleb Johnson and a couple of those guys. But I do think that out of these starters, Jamie Sherwood needs to play. He's going into his third season. He obviously tore his Achilles his first year, and then the second year he got buried under the depth chart. So it's his job to lose pretty much. The New York Jets chose not to bring back Quan Alexander. Obviously, he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he fares in a NFL starter. But that's going to wrap it up for the secondary. Getting into the corner, at least the linebackers, getting into the cornerbacks, DJ Reed and Sauce will not be playing. I'm expecting to see a lot of, well, some of Michael Carter. I'm expecting to see some Bryce Huff, seeing what those guys can do. The same thing with the safeties. It's probably not going to be Jordan Whitehead and Tony Adams, who is the favorite to start this season. It's probably going to be a little bit of Adrian Amos and Ashton Davis in the backfield. But walking away from this game, I'm really, like I said, I'm really excited about the offense. Can the defense maybe force some turnovers? Can we get some sacks? Can we see what Will McDonald is? Like I said, former first round pick in the 2023 draft. So it's going to be really exciting to see what a lot of these young guys can do. But either way, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock into this. I'm just excited that I get to watch my favorite football team play some real football against a different opponent that is not wearing a green or a white uniform. The New York Jets have been battling a lot in training camp, actually, even some fist fights. So it shows me that they're eager. They are pumped up, they are angry, and they are ready to get onto that football field because let's face it, even getting Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers and pretty much winning the offseason, having the amazing offseason that they have had, bringing back the retro throwback legacy jerseys that fans have been begging for. It seems like the New York Jets are still getting disrespected. People are still spitting on their name, and they're getting pissed off, and they want to go punch somebody in the face and prove that they are no longer the laughing stock of the NFL. But that's going to wrap it up. My final score prediction, I'm saying 21-14. Of course, I'm rooting for my New York Jets. I predict a Jets win, starting off the 2023 season with a W. Robert Saleh, actually, under his head coach leadership, has never lost a preseason game. The closest he has done was tied with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm predicting a Robert Saleh win. How can you go against the New York Jets? All the feelings are high right now. Positive vibes only, like he says. Zach Wilson, go out there, prove that you can be a backup quarterback. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your score predictions are down below in the comment section below. Follow everything NYJ on all social media platforms. If you have not done so, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. We'll talk Jets soon.